Hey everyone, welcome back. We got a lot of requests to break down some fundamental economic ideas.
Yeah,
So we thought,
big ones.
yeah, we'd crack open a classic Karl Menger's Principles of Economics.
Oh, very good.
We're talking late 1800s Austria, a
Ah,
time when economics was going through some,
major shifts.
some major shifts.
Absolutely.
And Menger was right at the heart of it.
Yeah, a key figure in what became known as the Austrian school, and his work,
Oh, yeah.
it really shook things up, challenged a lot of assumptions about value and exchange.
I was expecting something super dense, I gotta admit.
Oh, yeah.
But Menger is surprisingly readable, and he uses these really vivid examples that bring his ideas to life.
Yeah, he's great with the examples.
It's not just theory.
Nah.
It's like getting a glimpse into how people actually thought about this stuff back then.
Yeah, he was all about making economics relevant to everyday life.
Yeah.
Understanding how individuals make choices in the face of scarcity.
Yeah.
So that was a big change from some of the more abstract economic thinking of his time. So let's dive into that. Menger starts by asking what seems like a simple question.
Yeah.
What is a good?
What is a good?
And his answer might surprise you.
Right.
He says a good is anything that satisfies a human need.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it means value is subjective.
Oh.
What's valuable to you might not be valuable to me.
Right.
It all depends on our individual needs and circumstances.
He even talks about things like a business's good reputation or having strong relationships as being goods
Yeah.
because they fulfill important needs.
Absolutely.
Think about how much we invest in those things today.
We do.
It's like Menger was already tapping into some fundamental human drives.
He was ahead of his time on that one.
Yeah.
That was a radical idea back then
Uh-huh.
because many economists were really fixated on material things, the stuff you could see and touch.
Yeah.
Menger really broadened the concept of value
Right.
to include these intangible but essential things for our well-being.
So how does this subjective value play out in the real world?
Hmm.
I mean, we all experience the one person's trash is another person's treasure phenomenon.
Right.
But Menger takes this a step further with his idea of the chain of goods.
Yes, a chain of goods, great concept.
Yeah. So explain that.
So he talks about different orders of goods.
Okay.
First order goods are those that directly satisfy our needs,
Okay.
like that cup of coffee you crave in the morning,
Yeah.
the pizza you want for dinner.
But to get that coffee, you need a whole chain of other goods.
Exactly.
You need the beans, the roasting process, the coffee maker, the electricity to power it.
Exactly. All those things.
Yeah.
Those are second order goods.
Okay.
The things that help produce the first order goods that we consume.
Oh, wow.
And then there are third order goods.
Uh-huh.
The things that help produce the second order goods and so on.
It's like this,
It goes all the way up.
yeah, this intricate web.
A web of interconnectedness.
Yeah. And Menger points out that the value of these higher order goods comes from the future value of what they help produce.
Yeah, it's all about anticipation and potential.
Yeah.
Think about investing in a company.
Uh-huh.
You're buying a higher order good.
Okay.
You're hoping that it will eventually lead to the production of something valuable down the line, services or products, whatever it might be.
He uses this example.
How is it?
In the book, imagine having all the ingredients to bake a cake, but no oven.
Oh, right.
Suddenly, those ingredients lose their value.
You can't bake the cake.
They can't fulfill their purpose.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Without that crucial piece of the chain.
It highlights that uncertainty that comes with those higher order goods.
Yeah.
You might plan to use those ingredients to bake a cake,
Mm-hmm.
but what if the oven breaks?
Yeah.
What if you run out of time?
What if you decide you want pizza instead?
What if you want pizza? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the physical goods.
Right.
It's about our plans, our perceptions, and that possibility that things might not go as we expect,
Things rarely do.
rarely go as planned.
Yeah.
So Menger was already dealing with these complexities of risk and uncertainty
Wow.
that are still so important to economics today.
Now here's where things get really mind-bending.
Okay, wait on me.
Menger talks about what happens when a good becomes so plentiful that we don't even need to think about it.
Yeah.
He calls these non-economic goods.
Yes, non-economic goods.
So they have utility.
They're useful.
Yeah.
They're useful, but they don't have that economic value.
Right.
Because they're so abundant that no one's worried about getting enough of them.
The classic example is air.
Air, yeah.
But what if things change?
Yeah?
Imagine a future where pollution is so bad that clean air becomes scarce.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, something we've always taken for granted,
He's precious.
yeah, it becomes a valuable commodity.
Right, and people would be willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That shift from a non-economic good to an
Right.
economic good. That can happen with anything if the conditions change.
It's all relative.
It's all relative availability and how much we need it.
So we've got these different types of goods.
We do.
And Menger's big breakthrough is explaining how we determine their value.
Yeah, how do we do that?
And he says it's not some inherent property of the good itself.
It's in our minds.
Yeah, it's all about us.
It is. It's subjective and it's marginal.
Okay.
To understand that,
Break that down.
let's talk pizza.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about how much you enjoy that first slice of pizza
Oh, yeah.
when you're really hungry.
The best.
It's pure bliss.
Yeah.
But with each additional slice,
It's less and less.
the satisfaction you get goes down.
Yeah.
By slice number 5, you might even be feeling sick.
That's so true.
That's the idea of marginal utility.
Okay.
Each additional unit of a good brings less satisfaction than the one before.
Oh.
And this explains so much of our behavior.
This is why we get tired of things. Why we're willing to pay more for something when we desperately need it.
Exactly.
Why trends come and go.
Yes. And it goes against this common belief
What's that?
that things are valuable because of all the labor that went into making them.
Right.
Menger says, nope,
So it's not about the past.
no.
It's about the present and the future.
It is the value right now.
Hmm.
He uses the example of an antique.
Okay.
Its value today has nothing to do with how much labor went into it hundreds of years ago.
Right.
What matters is its value now to you.
So it's not about the sweat and toil of the past.
Nope.
It's about how much we value something in this moment based on our needs, our desires, and what we're willing to give up to get it.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And this leads to another important distinction Menger makes.
Okay, what's that?
Use value versus exchange value.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Okay, so sometimes we value something because we use it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's its use value.
Okay.
Think about a comfy old sweater that you love.
Yeah.
It brings you comfort. Maybe it has sentimental value.
But it might not be worth much to anyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then there's exchange value.
Okay.
What you could get for that sweater if you traded it.
Okay.
Maybe it's a vintage designer piece that collectors would pay a lot for.
Oh, wow.
So it has low use value to you,
Uh-huh.
but high potential exchange value to someone else.
It's all about perspective.
It's all relative.
This makes me think about those Marie Kondo decluttering moments.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's so hard to let go of things.
I know.
Even if we don't really use them anymore,
Yeah.
because we're holding on to that potential exchange value that, what if I could sell this someday, feeling.
Exactly. It shows how these kind of abstract economic concepts,
Yeah.
they play out in our everyday decisions.
So how does all of this relate to money?
Money.
Yeah, where does money fit into this whole picture?
Well, Menger has some fascinating thoughts on the origins of money.
Okay.
And that's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. Last time, we were about to unpack Carl Menger's take on money
Yeah.
and how it came to be. And this is where I think his understanding of human behavior really comes through.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to think about how something like money.
Oh, it's so essential.
I know. How did
It's ingrained.
Yeah, we just take it for granted.
Exactly. But before money, there was bartering.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine trying to trade a cow for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
You need to find someone who wants a cow
And it has bread.
and has the bread.
What a coincidence.
It was.
Yeah.
Barter systems are incredibly inefficient.
Yeah, especially as societies get more complex.
Absolutely. So according to Menger, certain goods just naturally emerged as more desirable or more saleable.
Okay.
So you think about things like cattle or salt or precious metals.
Uh-huh.
These goods were durable, they were divisible, they were portable,
Yeah.
and most importantly, lots of people wanted them.
So even if you didn't personally need a cow,
Right.
you could trade your goods for one, knowing that you could then easily trade that cow for something else later on.
Exactly. It's like one of those intermediate steps in a recipe.
Oh, yeah.
You might not want to eat raw eggs on their own,
No.
but you need them to bake a cake.
Yeah, that's true.
So those highly sought after goods
Okay.
became like stepping stones to getting what you really wanted.
And precious metals like gold and silver?
Yes.
They really rose to the top.
Yeah, they were compact, easy to transport. Their value was recognized everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing to think about how these just practical considerations
Yeah.
combined with human desires and that need for efficient exchange
Yeah,
led to money,
it really did.
like we know it today.
Menger drives home the point that it wasn't some top-down thing.
No, it was organic.
It came from individuals.
Yeah. trying to make their lives easier.
What if we could rewind history
Yeah,
and observe those early markets?
that would be something.
Would gold and silver still become the dominant money?
That's a question economists have asked
Yeah.
for centuries.
I bet.
But Menger gives us that framework for understanding how those choices played out,
Yeah.
how preferences
Yeah.
and the characteristics of different goods
Uh-huh.
shaped how money evolved.
But even though money emerged organically,
Yeah.
governments play a role too, right?
Well, absolutely. Once a particular good becomes widely accepted as money,
Uh-huh.
the state can step in,
Yeah.
give it official sanction,
Okay.
standardize it, guarantees its purity, make it legal tender.
So like going from weighing out chunks of gold to using standardized coins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot easier.
That feeling of trust when you see a brand name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
It's like, okay, that's backed by someone I trust.
Trust is essential.
Yeah.
It's not just the physical properties of money,
Right.
but the institutions and the social norms behind it.
Okay, so money makes exchange smoother. That's clear.
Yeah.
But then Menger gets into this idea of money as a measure of price.
Okay.
And that's where I get a little lost.
Right. There was this common belief back then that money provided this objective measure of a good's value.
Oh.
So like one horse costs 10 gold coins.
Okay.
The assumption was that those were equal in value.
Right.
That there was some inherent horseness
Yeah.
that equals 10 gold coins.
But that doesn't really track when you consider that value is subjective.
That's exactly Menger's point.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
that ignores the individual.
Right.
Think about it.
Okay.
The price of a horse,
Yeah.
it can change even on the same market at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
A farmer who desperately needs a horse to plow his fields
Yeah.
might be willing to pay way more.
Then like a rich merchant who just wants it for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for money?
Yeah.
If it's not measuring some objective value, what is it doing?
Right.
Menger says it's not measuring this pre-existing exchange value that's out there in the world.
Okay.
Instead, money provides a common unit for comparison
Oh.
between what different people think.
So instead of saying that a horse is worth 10 gold coins,
Yeah.
we're saying at this moment someone's willing to trade 10 gold coins for that horse.
Exactly.
It's subtle, but it's important.
It is.
Yeah.
Money facilitates transactions.
Yeah.
It doesn't create some magical objective value.
Okay, it's like a common language
Yes.
for expressing those subjective valuations.
That's a great way to put it.
Makes it easier to, get through this complex world of exchange.
Money is like a universal translator for value.
Oh, I like that.
It allows people with different needs and desires
Yeah.
to find common ground
To make trades.
and make trades. Yeah.
This makes me think about the stock market.
Good.
Prices are constantly fluctuating, driven by the whims of millions of investors.
Absolutely. It's this chaotic dance of subjective valuations.
Yeah.
Some of that, it seems rational.
Based on new information.
Company's performance or whatever.
Yeah.
But other times it's just pure speculation.
Fahrenheit.
Fear and hype.
It's all very human
Those very human emotions
that Menger recognized.
were so central
Yeah.
to how economics works.
So if money isn't really measuring the subjective value,
Yeah.
what's its purpose beyond facilitating exchange?
Hmm.
Why do we hold on to it? Why do we care about accumulating wealth?
Those are great questions.
Yeah,
And Menger had some interesting answers.
I bet he did.
So in the next part, we'll explore his ideas about money as a store of value and how it allows us to plan for the future,
Yeah.
even in a world that's constantly changing.
Okay, and we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Carl Menger, Principles of Economics. We've covered some ground.
I have.
Subjective nature of value, the evolution of money.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But I keep thinking about how all this theory plays out in real life.
Yeah.
We talk about the value of goods,
Right.
but you go to the store and everything is a price tag.
Right.
So how does Menger bridge that gap?
Well, he says the price of a good is a direct result of its value to individuals.
Okay.
So if you're willing to pay $5 for that cup of coffee,
Yeah.
that's reflecting how much you value that coffee in that moment.
So if the coffee shop is selling it for $5,
Right.
they found a price where enough people like me
Yeah.
value it enough to make it worth selling.
Exactly. It's this amazing dance between buyers and sellers,
Yeah.
each trying to maximize their own satisfaction.
Right. Buyers want the best deal, sellers want to make a profit.
Of course.
It's like a negotiation.
It is the price that emerges.
Yeah.
That's a reflection of all those subjective valuations.
It makes me think about those online auctions
Oh, yeah.
where people get so caught up in the bidding
Bidding wars, yeah.
and they pay way more than they intended.
That's exactly how emotion
Versions.
can drive prices up beyond what might seem rational.
Yeah.
Menger was very aware of that human behavior isn't always predictable.
So how does this all work when there's competition?
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be about one person's willingness to pay.
Right? You've got multiple sellers offering similar goods.
Right.
Menger points out that competition puts limits on what sellers can do.
Yeah.
If one coffee shop tries to charge $10 while everyone else is charging $5,
Yeah, I'm going to the other place.
buyers will go somewhere else. Exactly.
Yeah.
Competition forces sellers to be reasonable.
But they still got to make a profit.
Right. They need to find that balance.
Yeah, it's a tightrope.
They need to offer a price that's attractive to buyers,
Mm-hmm.
but also make sure they can keep the lights on.
This constant pressure,
Yeah.
Menger says.
It's crucial
It's crucial, yeah.
for a well-functioning market.
I guess that's why we have antitrust laws.
Exactly.
To prevent monopolies,
Yeah.
to keep that competition going.
It all goes back to those principles that Menger was writing about.
Over 100 years ago. Wow.
Competition keeps sellers on their toes.
Yeah. It makes
They
them more efficient, more innovative.
have to be responsive to what customers want.
So it's good for both sides.
Yeah.
Like long term.
Yeah. Buyers get better stuff at fair prices.
Yeah.
Sellers have to keep improving.
They have to up your game.
Okay, so we've talked goods value price competition.
Right.
But one more big thing.
What's that?
Wealth.
Oh, wealth, yes.
How did Menger define wealth?
Is it just about money?
I mean, that's what we usually think of.
He had a more well-rounded view.
Okay.
He saw it as all the economic goods a person commands.
So not just your bank account.
No, it's everything that has value to you.
Your possessions, your skills, your education, even your relationships.
Yeah, if they contribute to your economic well-being.
Yeah.
So it's much broader.
More holistic.
It is, and he makes this point.
What is it?
Wealth is relative.
Okay. Yeah.
It only has meaning in comparison to others.
Oh, so if everyone had tons of everything, no one would need to worry about it.
Right, the concept would just disappear.
It's like standing on a mountaintop. You can only appreciate the view because you're higher up.
Love that.
If everything was flat, there'd be no peaks and valleys.
No perspective.
Yeah, it's all about that perspective.
Scarcity is essential
Yeah.
to the idea of value.
And value is the basis of wealth.
It all ties together.
Wow, we really have come full circle.
We have.
From what's a good to this big idea of wealth.
It's amazing how these ideas
Yeah.
from over a century ago
Yeah.
still resonate today.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Carl Menger,
Yes.
what's the big takeaway?
Well, I think Menger reminds us that economics,
Yeah.
it's not just numbers and graphs.
It's about people.
It's about people.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how we make choices, what we value,
Yeah.
and how those valuations shape the world.
So next time you buy something,
Yeah.
think about what need you're satisfying.
What are you really after?
Yeah. Is it the use value? Is it the exchange value? Are you being totally rational?
Or are your emotions taking over?
Are you caught up in the hype?
The fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
By understanding these things, I think we gain a deeper appreciation for how it all works.
I agree.
It's like Menger gives us this new lens for viewing the world,
It's true.
one that reveals all these hidden connections
Yeah.
between our personal values and these big economic forces.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, this has sparked some curiosity
I hope so.
to learn more.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.